because you
Oh,
can
okay.
tell your stories where you can just tag it. We're now going live, which will be great fun.
Okay.
Should be good.
Cool.
Should be good indeed. But what isn't good is my voice. The fact that I normally sound like a normal human being and I sound like I've just smoked 40 a day for the last 20 years of my life. That is not me at all. I don't smoke shisha. I know I'm wearing a turkey shirt and everything. This is not me.
Yeah.
Not what I'm going on about. Marhaba, everyone. Thank you very much for listening into our live stream today. We're going to be going through the three games that happened today as well, which is great to see. And I've still got to set this whole damn thing. I hate streaming on Zoom, I hate it because it sets up everything. They have to set up everything all over again.
Why
So
don't you use StreamYard?
StreamYard, yeah.
StreamYard
Yeah.
I use, but it's like because I use it on my MacBook, it overheats my MacBook more than Zoom does, which really annoys me.
Oh,
I have
okay.
to use it on the Chrome as opposed to using it on an app. That's what really, really annoys me too, as well. So, but then again, we're live, we're rocking, we're rolling, we're on YouTube, which is all good. So, welcome everyone following us on Friday Night Counter Attack. Today, we are here with two special guests from another fantastic UK-based podcast. Why don't you introduce yourselves to our audience and why don't you introduce yourselves to what Click 45 is about? And then we'll get straight into today's three matches in Euro 2024, where I know we've been paying close attention to some of the top ballers around European football today.
100%. Yeah. I'm Oz. I'm one of the hosts of Click 45, a Turkey fan of in this Euros, I would say definitely back in my country to do some bits. We're a we're a YouTube channel that's just started over a year ago and we've just been going up and up. Hopefully we get more and more people joining the journey and yeah, it's been good so far.
That's lovely to hear.
Lovely.
Can we hear
Lovely.
from Ayodele?
Ayodele or AY or Ayo, anything that begins with A.
Anything.
Fan of
You
football.
can short it. Like any Nigerian guy, you can just shorten it. It's absolutely
Yeah,
fine.
we can shorten or extend it. Depends on how we're feeling that day.
How far does it extend your name? How far? How many
Not that
names?
much. It's just Ayodele, then the middle name is Olusegun. And there's
Ah, okay.
more, but we don't say the more. We just keep it like that, just in case.
Just in
For this
case, just in
passport,
case.
innit? For this passport.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. That's really good to
Yeah,
see. So I'm
yeah.
looking forward to doing more of these live streams at the end of every single match day as possible, unless I'm busy or
Mm.
being actually sociable and not just stuck in my room recording content, which I like to do. I'm enjoying it, especially after so much we've got going on as well. And what I wanted to do first of all is just let everyone know what we're going to be going ahead with today. We're going to be talking about Italy versus Albania first, because that's the most recent game of the evening. Then we're going to be going to Spain versus Croatia at the Olympic Stadium in Berlin. And then finally, we're going to end it with that heroic performance from Switzerland against Hungary. So, off camera, we will kind of unofficially put ourselves to the test by looking at one game in particular, focusing on one game in particular. And I'm the one who draw the short straw with Italy versus Albania. The reason I say it was the short straw with Italy and Albania is because I was still cooking, like literally
Hmm.
cooking. I was in the kitchen when the game was kicked off. Then we see the DeMarco throw in, and we're just seeing the fastest goal ever in European Championship history, which was absolutely incredible. An amazing sight for all Albanian fans. They will happily remember it. But what I wanted to know from your thoughts is, even though it finished 2-1 to Italy, do you think Italy was still a bit blasé, a bit relaxed against Albania? Because they had some chances, Albania, in that game. What do you think, Ayo?
Yeah, I think they were. I think they weren't expecting that quick goal. I
Yes.
think the quick goal sort of helped them out really. Because if Albania didn't score that early, I think they were ready to chill for that whole match. They were just
Mm,
too calm with it. So I think Albania put them to the test and were like, yo, we're ready to rock. It felt like a home game for Albania. Those fans, because there's a lot of them in Germany. So
yeah.
I was like, yo, these guys are on it. They're trying to get every advantage they can. So as soon as they scored, I was like, it could be a long day for Italy. But as defending champions, they came back quickly. They didn't even waste time. They're like, yo, we ain't got time to waste right now because if we leave it too long, these men are gonna hold out 1-0. So yeah, kudos to them though.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, Oz, the one player I was really looking forward to watching today, and for me, he didn't disappoint, was Federico Chiesa. But seeing him on the right-hand side is where I'm not really used to seeing him. I've normally seen him on the left-hand side or up front for Italy and for Juventus as well. Was there a player that stood out for you in that Italy team that you thought, you know what, they can be the catalyst for this group change as well because they're top of the group, joint with Spain. They need to be changing their mentality for me. But did you see anyone that you thought, you know what, I was really impressed with him from the start, from the get-go? After
Yeah,
that
maybe.
first goal that they conceded, by the way. So
Yeah,
after,
maybe a bit of a boring shout from me, but Barella just shows how crucial he is
nothing
to that
boring about him
midfield.
at all. Nothing boring about him at all. I
No,
loved him.
I get that. Yeah, maybe it's a boring shout for me because like I think everyone, if you don't know European football yet, I think people need to get to know, and the best way to do that is through Nicolo Barella, the type of midfielder he is. He's fantastic, I feel, just on the ball, the way he controls the tempo of the game, he can do it a lot like that. I
He
feel
complements
like,
Jorginho so well when you're
yeah,
playing, seeing them play
100%.
together.
I think he makes up for what Jorginho misses, and I feel like the manager of Italy is just he's just found the right formula for that midfield. Personally, for me, you know,
Mm.
I just think kudos to him, well done to what he achieved. But I do feel like you guys were saying they put their foot off the pedal 100%. I'd say. I think they realized that you know what, let's not put the pressure on too much because we need to defend our lead that we got. And in, boring Italian defensive fashion, they did that perfectly, holding that 2-1 lead for the second half. So I feel like Barella is going to be one of the key players for this Italian team to do something successfully if they are to reach the latter stages of like the semi-finals or onwards, I feel. But
Mm.
whilst I was doing my predictions, I didn't actually have them go that far. But if they are expected to do that, I feel like someone like Barella is so key to that midfield.
It's true. I'm looking at this team and
Yeah,
I'm
for
thinking
sure.
with Bastoni at the back, and I'm
Oh,
looking at it thinking it's
100%.
the first time we're missing Chiellini and Bonucci for 18 years. 18
God
years
damn.
they've not
It's
been in the
crazy, isn't
defensive
it?
line. You're used to seeing Ronaldo in Portugal, you're used to seeing Chiellini for Italy, you're used to seeing so many big players for their nations, and now it's a change of guard at the back as well. And I thought Bastoni was very mature in his defending, very Italian in his defending as well. But was there a
Facts.
weakness that you saw, AO, that you thought, you know what, Italy can be exploited here rather on the counter attack, rather over the top? What did you find from Italy
I,
where you
I
thought, you know what, it could
felt
be a weakness against Spain coming up?
even though he plays for my club, I felt Jorginho could have been hit a lot of times on the transition.
He's
I
well protected, though.
felt
He's well
Yeah,
protected.
he's well protected. But at the beginning, when they scored that first goal, I saw him talking to his other midfielders like, "Yo, you man, we need to actually stick together and get
Save
ready."
me.
That,
That's what he was
yeah,
saying. He was saying,
that's what
save
I
me. Don't
say. That
expose me.
first goal helped them a lot. I keep going back to it. I think Albania scored way too early. If that's a bad thing, you get what I'm saying? It sparked Italy up too quickly. I think if they had, it's easy to say this, but if they had left it to like maybe the 45th minute to get their first goal, then it's like, okay, cool. We're in there. We've played a few minutes now. We know what to do. But that first was too quick, and Italy just regrouped. And before you knew it, Albania were out of the match already. You get what I'm saying? So I just saw that midfield at the first few 5 minutes, they were like, oh, what's going on? Albania were just they were like they were playing with freedom, which was nice to see. They didn't really care what was going on. They were like, yo, at the end of the day, we've qualified. Whatever happens, happens. Yeah, we've got at tops 3 matches to play. Let's give it everything. So yeah, that's what I saw with it. I was like, maybe that midfield may not be what it should, but nah, they held it down. They held it down. As you said, with Nico Barella and Jorginho, all of them just grouped. They just showed they just put their experience hats on and said, "Yo, we played at the top level. This is nothing. Yeah, we can get through this. Yeah."
Yeah,
My
100%.
final question on Italy for both of you guys before we move on to the next game is how important do you think their experience of being tournament winners, of actually being there and doing that? Because previously in Euro 2020, in 2021, I should say,
Mm.
they were always written off as well for barely qualifying for the tournament. You're looking at them now, and it's the same kind of situation. They scraped through a win early doors. People are thinking, oh, yeah, cool. It's the experienced players in midfield this time as opposed to in defense because you got Di Lorenzo, you got DeMarco at fullback, and you got Donnarumma, who's the captain, who's just been around since forever, always been a 16, 18-year-old as well. So I see him Perisic every
Mm.
damn tournament. You see him all the time,
Yeah.
just like you do with Donnarumma. But my question to both of you is how important is experience for Italy, especially in this tournament going through? Because I think that game against Spain will show what they're made of for this tournament. AO first and then Oz.
Yeah, I feel it's gonna help them a lot. I feel in the games they're coming up to now, if you're on opposition side and you don't kill the game against Italy, just know there's a high chance you may lose that game because they're gonna stick around. If you're not like 3-0 up, already. If you don't take your chances, they'll come back to bite you. So I think them having played together for a while, you said with Donnarumma, he's a world-class goalkeeper. He made a wonderful save today. Yeah, I
Spurs
say
fans saying that Vicario
yeah,
should be starting, yeah, and you're like, it's the
yeah,
captain
nah,
of
nah,
Italy. He's
nah,
not going to be
nah.
getting ahead of him. Come on now.
Nah, you can't be nah, nah, nah. I mean, we give him a lot of stick when he plays for PSG, but what he did today was just like to remind people that I'm still here, I'm still around. You get what I'm saying? When push comes to shove, I will make that save. So
It
I think the
reminds me.
experience will help them a lot.
It's an odd way I'm going to describe it, but
Mm,
Donnarumma reminds me personally of Jordan Pickford. He's much better as a goalkeeper for his country than he is for his club,
mm,
because he's noticed more for his country than he is for his club.
I
And
think he just,
respectively,
yeah.
go ahead, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I think with when it comes to the club, it's just like the quality isn't there until you reach a Champions League match, and I feel like
mm.
Just
Donnarumma
net.
just he has these paper mache wrists when it comes to league football and Champions League
Facts,
football sometimes, and I feel like
facts.
it doesn't really help him being in that league. I feel any top player, sorry, being in that league, it's a bit difficult, to sort of really see what type of level they are because Donnarumma is just showing he is definitely up there amongst like the top five goalkeepers in the world. But when we watch it for PSG, we're not really seeing that style of goalkeeper in the club,
100%.
and it I don't want to say it worries me for his legacy, but it is to be taken to account of because when Neymar made that move, his legacy was being
Oof.
questioned. So Donnarumma could be amongst that if like this is someone that we could see as a generational goalkeeper, if it maybe weren't for this move. So I feel like it's important to see how the guy progresses into the next stages of this tournament because yeah, I don't know with this experience thing you guys are saying, I don't know, like when it comes to teams that win tournaments, then the following tournament they always just flop. I don't know if you guys noticed this. Every single
Yeah, it's
tournament, like
technically.
Germany after the World Cup flopped, and then Italy after the Euros didn't qualify for the next World Cup. And then yeah, Spain have been downwards here and there, sometimes like not even making it through the round of 16 or quarterfinals at points. And I feel like maybe in international football, it doesn't really count as much as maybe you would say to club football. Well, I feel like when it comes to international football, it's more to do with how informed you are before going into this tournament, how ready you are as a team
Mm,
going into it. If we look at Silvino's Albania, they are so pumped up for this tournament. And I think, considering even though that they lost, I think Albanian fans should be very proud of what their team tried to put towards that match. And they didn't make it really boring, so to speak. But I feel like there's going to be times when they're going to get tested, and it will be interesting to see how Italy do amongst bigger opponents. And I feel like Spain will be that next test to see how well they do.
That's a good segue into the
mm.
game that happened previously as well. Spain versus Croatia. Which one of the two of you was focusing on that one today? I need to hear your questions. I need to hear your thoughts on it. And we need to have a bit of a discussion about Spain versus Croatia because for me, Croatia have let me down massively. They've let down Luka Modric massively. You saw the difference, dare I say, in the experience of protecting Jorginho for Italy
Mm.
and Brozovic and Meyer and who is the other one that we had in the midfield? Kovacic let down Luka
Poverty.
Modric for me. And that's where Rodri, Pedri, they ran riot in midfield. And it looked absolutely fantastic from a Spanish point of view. Morata scoring. Hopefully his injury isn't as bad because he's going to be up there as one of the history makers of this tournament if he continues to score goals as well. Who was running Spain versus Croatia from the two of you?
Well, no,
That
I
was
decided to take that, yeah,
Nice. Let's hear
when
it.
it
Let's hear
comes
your
to watching
questions.
it. So, I feel like for me personally, I before coming into this tournament, I've put we on the Click 45 Instagram and TikTok, you'll see the Clicks predictions, and Spain was one of my flops for the tournament
Why?
because I do not believe that the defense as well as this striker issue that they got is good enough to go forward. And I feel like there
mm,
were moments where Morata did look a bit like, you know what, you're a bit cagey. And then once he did come off, more
Looking like
questions
Premier League
again.
Morata, basically.
Yeah, yeah, and then
Mm.
more questions are getting asked again. Is Mikel Oyarzabal going to be good enough to replace Morata? I don't personally think there's going to be a lot of goals coming from that attack of Spain. I don't know how you guys feel about it. They've got great youngsters amongst like
mm.
Lamal and Williams, who are just, I think they're going to be one of the greatest in their leagues at one point. But I just definitely feel like goals are going to be lacking from this side. I know they've just beaten Croatia 3-0, but I don't know what you guys think. I genuinely do feel like without a proper striker, they're gonna struggle.
My
Mm,
question to you is, as a retort, is we've seen the greatest of Spanish teams really without a striker. When you're thinking about when they played Cesc Fabregas as a false nine once
Mm,
upon a time in Euro
mm,
2012, we've seen them play with David Villa as a left winger, Iniesta as a right winger as well. 2008 they had Fernando Torres and Villa up front, so it worked well for them. But if there's any team in international football that don't really need to rely upon a striker, for me, it's got to be Spain because Spain are so used to playing with the ball to feet. It's the fact that Lamine Yamal, and Williams can actually bomb forward, and we saw it a lot in the Croatia game. Their fullbacks
mm,
weren't on it. Stanisic, who's been fantastic for Bayer Leverkusen this season, he was missing so many of the over-the-head chances as well, where he should have been just clearing it out for throwing, but he tried to keep the
mm,
ball in play, and it really impacted his game. It impacted the defense's confidence, and even when you saw them trying to play up from the back, their pressing is second to none in this tournament from what I've seen. It's 4 games. I know it's literally just 4 games, but
mm.
their pressing was absolutely fantastic from what I saw. They're used to pressing, they're used to having high energy up the field as well. And maybe they play a false nine with Danny Olmo playing as a false nine, or Ayarabal plays as a winger, where maybe Lamine Yamal dropping in. There's so many combinations they can make with this attack. For me, for Spain, I still think Spain are going to be top of this group in Group B, and
yeah.
I'm really looking forward to seeing what they've got to bring
Mm.
against Italy. What do you think,
Yeah,
Mayo?
I do have him as top, but my own like I said, my only issue, I don't see him doing like this well against the top teams of this tournament, like
Mm.
the France and Germany's. I
Mm.
Yeah,
I think this is where that's where they're gonna struggle. The defense is maybe not as
shoddy.
strong as it used to be as well. And I feel like there's gonna be a lot of stuff like that that's gonna be missing. I don't know what you think, KY, but
So, yeah, I watched the match as well fully, and I was like, this Croatia team just needed to take their chances. Honestly, I
and
That
it's
watched
Kovacic
it.
charge in the first half,
Yeah,
man, left-footed.
I
Come on
was
now,
not
that's some
only
like
that
conviction in it.
though, this is a golden generation that's sort of like dwindling now in
dwindling. You get
Croatia.
what I'm
So
saying?
like
Yeah,
in terms of the
This is more
way
like a
Spain
copper
played.
generation now. They're all kind of just gone past their golden age now.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. It's the
yeah.
golden generation gone now, and I just feel like it maybe this performance that Spain has shown, maybe it
That's what I'm
isn't going to be
saying.
true to what we are going to see for the rest of the tournament. Because I
Yeah,
feel like this group, it's an interesting group, but let's see if they can do this against Italy. Let's see if they can do this against other teams. You know, I don't back them. De La Fuente, I don't really back his team to do it.
they
Nah, that's
didn't look
fair.
like they
What's
were the real deal. That's the thing. They didn't look like they were the real deal. Because you win the match 3-0, there's
It
always
wasn't.
pluses and negatives. It wasn't a convincing. It
that
Yeah,
wasn't
penalty
fully
issue as
that's
well?
convincing.
my
That
main thing.
penalty issue as
Yeah,
well was quite sus as well. Looking at it,
yeah,
it could have been a red card for Rodri. Either way, it was literally a goal scoring opportunity that he denied as
exactly.
well.
I've got
He
some
scored.
stats as well that I just want to share with you.
Go
And
for it.
just like think about this, right? Ball possession, Spain had 47%, Croatia had 53%. Croatia had a better XG of 2.48 to Spain's 1.91.
Yep.
More shots on in total by Croatia of 16 compared to Spain's 11. Um, and I just feel like when you read these stats, they don't sound like a team that dominated the pitch, that
Mm.
actually performed really well. And
Mm.
it's just like, okay, you've won this game 3-0 from counter, I would say like um
But would you then say
excessive.
that's a more of a disrespect to Croatia then? Because Croatia are still a solid team nevertheless. If it was against the likes of like Albania or Scotland, like we saw with Germany yesterday, you kind of expect more possession. But Luka Modric, Brozovic, Kovacic, Gvardiol, you had Meher as well. Decent coach, and they've been there and done that. Croatia got to the semi-finals of the World Cup a year and a half ago as well. So would you say
Yeah.
it's more disrespect to Croatia or more
No, not
disrespect
at
to?
all. I think considering the way people, this is more to do with the agenda people try to bring up with Spain in terms of like this was a great performance. Like
Mm.
the underlying numbers do not show that. That's what I'm trying to say. Like when I read out Croatia's XG that being better than Spain's, I think that shows you that Croatia just needed to take their chances to make this game a bit more closer to what it looked like
A
because
lot
all
of
they
their
all
chances were half chances as well,
yeah
Croatia. They should have made them into
Yeah.
proper chances like
yeah
that.
they should have.
Mayer
Facts.
goal, Mayer chance, and he hit the side netting in the
Yes,
first half. That should have
that
Yeah.
been.
should have been
Come on,
finished.
bro. What are you doing? You get what I'm saying?
Exactly. This
Put
is
that to
that's my
bed.
issues. These are
Mm.
my issues.
Put
Like
that
these
to
are all
bed.
red flags. I can't be watching Spain, people telling me that was a dominant game when I feel like
No, it wasn't.
I feel like Croatia could have done a little bit more. So Spain,
Definitely.
Spain, Spain have a red flag for me.
Definitely. Even with their
Misleading with the
shots.
scoreline.
Yeah, even with their shots, I don't think the Spanish keeper. I don't think that should be their first choice keeper. He's got a bozo gene in him.
Oh
Even though he
God,
saved
don't
the
tell me you
penalty,
want David Raya as
I
number one
didn't
for
say
Spain.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that, but
My
I'm just
club's
saying I
player,
saw
Jorginho. My club's player, David Raya is on the
I
bench.
saw I
Maybe he
saw
needs a
him.
game against Italy.
I saw him with that pass, man, and I was like, yeah, you could mess things up later
As
down.
if David
Because
Raya doesn't have bozo
I
genes.
know he has that, but I'm just saying
Bozo
we
in
need
the
to sort
North
out
London
they
derby.
really need to sort out the Spain need to sort out there because they don't have a full number one. Honestly, I still feel that a lot of man they don't really have a number one. So
No.
when I saw
He's
that,
been
I
number
was
one
like,
for the last 4 years. He's been
he's
convincingly
he's
the
he's.
number one.
I don't think he's
He may not be a
convincing enough.
convincing
Yes, he saved the
goalkeeper, but he's
penalty.
been convincingly the
Yeah,
number one.
I think that's gonna come back to bite Spain. Yeah, they're gonna come back and bite them in the ass sooner or later. But yeah, they got their 3 points. They did what needed to be done. I don't know. People were saying Rodri should have been sent off. For
If it
the
was Casemiro, if it's Granit Xhaka, if it was someone with a reputation within the Euros, I reckon they would have been sent off as well, to be fair. But with
yeah
Rodri,
red
it's like,
card.
oh no, he's a Man City player, he's a world-class player. Michael Oliver was like, I'll give you some slack.
I know you, Michael. Listen, I
Yeah, look,
remember you.
English referees just ruining the game again.
Oh my
Honestly,
days.
Michael Oliver just needs to take a break from refereeing, man. You're looking at the standard of refereeing, the use of VAR in the last couple of games. Michael Oliver, that should have been a red. That's the most blatant red card. He denied a goal scoring opportunity,
Yeah.
then the encroachment for the penalty after they scored
Yeah,
from
that
the
was
rebound,
weird, man.
and it remained 3-0. Hint of match fixing, maybe. You never know. You never actually know with this one as well. But my last question on Spain for both of you fellas is actually no, you kind of answered that, or has kind of answered that as well. But my question to you is, was there a player you thought, you know what, they need to step up for the next game? Because we saw Lamine Yamal shine. I was really happy seeing Lamine the Dream absolutely shining. Nico Williams was fantastic. Pedri doing what Pedri does as well. But was there a player you thought, you know what, they've got to step up for the next game? Or is it just going to be Unai Simon that you said, Ayo?
Yeah. Oh, I think the
Or are you
keeper
going to bring out your
and
David Raya agenda again? Let me hear it.
I mean, I would like to see him play. You get what I'm saying? Like, imagine Premier League Golden Boot win and Premier League Golden Glove winner ain't even starting games. It just shows the quality, or it could show a bit of bias. You get what I'm saying? It depends on how
Mm.
you look at it. But yeah, I think the keeper, yes, he saved the penalty, so he saved his blushes. But that pass back, he needs to be switched on. He needs to be switched on, especially in a team like Spain where they will be passing back to you regularly. You know what? They're going to start from the back and build up. So yeah. I think that only him I've seen.
No, that's fair enough. And into the final game that we saw, the first game of the day, Hungary versus Switzerland, where it was a toss of a coin, really, to see who actually
Yeah.
was going to be the winner of this game. You had people going
Yep.
for Hungary because of the likes of Dominic Szoboszlai, we Orban, the RB Leipzig centre back as well, Gulashi, the RB Leipzig keeper. And then you're looking at Switzerland with this new look side, with these new young
Mm,
players coming through, spearheaded by
mm,
Granit Xhaka. We've got Fabian Schär from Newcastle United, Jan Sommer and Gregor Kobel, which was a big debate in Switzerland of who should be the number one keeper for
mm,
Switzerland. Champions League finalist Gregor Kobel or Jan Sommer, who was the Inter Milan keeper for this season, one of the best free transfers of the season. Jan Sommer proved why he's one of the top keepers in Europe and finally getting the respect he deserves. But
Yeah.
let me hear your thoughts. Let me hear your thoughts on what you were watching from the Hungary versus Switzerland game. What did you learn? What did we miss out on? And what should we really think
mm.
about with Hungary and for Switzerland for the next couple of games?
I feel it was a game of two halves. I think in the first half, Switzerland really dominated. Hungary weren't really there. They were like, we don't know what we're doing here, to be honest. And I think half time, the manager told them, yo, like you lose this, you could be out right now. You need to turn it up. You need to show people what they came to see. You get what I'm saying?
Hungary have got
Shabazz
Germany
like,
next as well, so they could be
yeah,
done and dusted.
you get what I'm saying? So we need
Mm.
to try and get something from this match. Shabazz like, it's not about flicking your hair now. This ain't Anfield.
He was
You need
like,
to
he was
show
like,
like
it's like you're going to see a real team come up next time. Germany, Florian Wirtz, Musiala,
exactly.
Tony Cruz. You can't lose to Switzerland,
You
their
may not
neighbours.
get the ball next match. You may not be able to get on the ball and do what you need to do next match. So this is the match you need to show yourself. And I think
They may be
second
headed
half
home.
they came out, but it was a little bit too late. They came out, they did what they needed to do, but it was a bit too late. They missed some gilt chances. I was really disappointed in some of the chances they missed. There was some gilt edge. I think they had a header in the second half. Suppose like swung it in, and then the striker just missed. I was like, damn, that was you. I was impressed with yeah, that plays for Freiburg. Is it Salah?
So like,
Solar?
Sly.
I
So
Should
like
start.
like,
it.
let
Yeah.
me tell you, quickly, I think in the first half he started a bit more back, and then they brought him forward. They told him to just
Bomb
get up
forward.
more, and
They
then
brought more
bomb
players
forward
in as
more.
well. They were pushing more
Yeah,
men forward.
bomb
They committed
forward
more, which
in.
worked well for
Yeah,
him.
bomb forward. Show us you're good. And Granit Xhaka, of course, man of the match performance. He was dictating play. He did well. You see, most of these players when they've played a lot of international competitions, it's just
Also,
there
I'm
with you.
sensing a big Arsenal bias from your co-host as always. Again, we've got David Raya, Jorginho,
Oh,
Granit Xhaka.
my players are
Sensing a theme
playing.
with this one.
This is
What
football
can I
team.
say? My players are playing well, innit? They're playing well.
Your
So he
ex-players
had a
playing
great
well.
game. Ex-player, he had a great game. In Bolo, yeah, in Bolo, after playing, I don't even know how many matches he played this season.
Probably
I think
two and a half.
he missed like 38 games.
Yeah,
Yeah, most
too
people don't even
many.
know he
But
played in
isn't that such a
France.
great story though when you're looking back at
Yeah.
it? Some players
Yeah.
didn't even make the Euros because they weren't match fit, like Thibaut Courtois, even though he played a
Mm.
Champions League final. Some players got back from injury and then didn't even get back into the squad, like Harry Maguire for England. And Polo missed most of the season for Monaco.
Those are the
Monaco's form
scores.
went down like that because they missed their main striker and has
Yeah.
come off that iconic goal celebration forever will be remaining in Euro history because of how his knee brace just fell off. It felt like Forrest
Yeah.
Gump. Like when
Yeah.
Forrest Gump learned how to run. I don't know if you've seen the film.
Yeah. Yeah.
He
Yeah.
starts
Yeah, yeah,
running.
Seen the
yeah,
memes, not the
The
film. The
memes.
memes is
The
enough.
memes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. When you see the memes, you'll
yeah.
be seeing more memes of Mbolo literally just bringing down his knee brace. Like, no, I'm here. I've recovered from injury. I'm no
I'm
longer Mr. Glass as
ready.
well. And we're here. We're here,
I'm
Switzerland, to turn up
ready.
as
I
well.
definitely think,
I'm
yeah, it
ready.
couldn't have happened to a better player as well, you know. There's someone
Mm.
that is so key to the way Switzerland have been doing in the recent competitions, really. For me, Switzerland are such a underrated side in terms of the way they can make upsets in this in the Euros or the World Cup. And I feel like it's maybe time to see how much further they can take this. Sort of aggression that they got amongst the squad. You know, they've got individuals that are brilliant. I feel Breel and Bolo, like we were saying, Duarda's goal scorer. I think
Yes.
certain
English
individuals.
born.
Is I can't remember if this guy, the striker for AC Milan, Noah Okafor, is he Swiss or is he
It's
from
Swiss, yeah.
Denmark? Yeah, he is,
He's
isn't he?
Swiss. He's
Yeah, I
Swiss.
Swiss,
He's
thought
yeah.
so,
Swiss.
and I
Yeah, he's
thought like
Swiss.
we didn't even get to see him play yet, and
Yeah,
I
imagine. Yeah.
yeah, and
Unused
there's
sub.
yeah, there's interesting players still yet to sort of flourish, you know, Ricardo. And then when you
Mm.
look at the older veterans of the team, Ricardo Rodriguez from left back now, sort of
Oh,
that third centre back in that back five. And yeah,
Xherdan
facts.
Shaqiri, of course, as well. Chicago
yeah,
Fire's finest
yeah,
on the
Jan,
bench.
and then we said all we have to about Jan Sommer, about how great he is and whatnot. And yeah, I just don't. I feel like if there's a nation that you want to root for, if you don't really know European football, Switzerland are not a bad side to
Switzerland is
sort
up
of
there.
follow. They're definitely
Yeah.
a nice team to follow.
A
It's
young
true.
team as well.
Yeah, yeah,
New
Young
nucleus of
team.
players, which is what's nice for
Yeah. So,
European football as well, because
yeah.
there'll be lots of scouts looking at this game thinking, you know what, there's a few
Yeah.
young players we could be looking at for the
Abisha.
transfer
Yeah.
market. You got the Burnley player Amdouni as well, who got
Mm.
relegated. So maybe there will be someone across Europe who's like, you know what, cheeky £50 million bid to Burnley, that could be an option as well. Get him out of there with that little cameo
Let's take
appearance
a
that he had off the
chance of
bench
it.
too. Needs to be done. It needs to
Facts.
be done. But my question to
Facts.
you regarding Hungary is a lot of people have been talking highly upon them, especially regarding the last Euros when they were in the group of death with Germany, Portugal, and with France as well. A lot
Mm.
of people can say that they're going to be finishing third in this group and they could get through to the round of 16 as well. But who has more chance of actually getting through third in this group? Because I'm looking at Scotland and I'm looking at Hungary. Germany are facing Switzerland next. It's looking very much like no, Germany facing Hungary next, apologies.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
looking very much like it's going to be a Germany win as well. That could be 0 from 2 games for Hungary. Do you think Scotland have it all to play for against Switzerland for a do or die game to actually get above Hungary, maybe get that third position? What do you
I
guys
don't.
think?
I don't think Scotland have it in them. I don't think the player quality is there.
Poor
When
Andy
you
Robertson arguing with his manager Steve Clark on the pitch after full time. Crazy.
yeah, yeah, like I think, yeah, I just don't rate that Scotland team. You know, their best players are left backs, and one of them's not even playing left back,
Facts.
which
Mm.
is
Facts.
yeah. And I just
They were
and then when you look at the rest of the squad, they're sort of championship to league what Scottish Premiership players
Yeah.
here and there as well. So like when you compare that to the Swiss side who have players that are playing in the top five leagues in the world, some of them even touted to be the next up. There's just a golfing class, that
Mm.
Definitely,
that Scotland I don't think are going to reach at all. If they
definitely.
go home with 0 points as well, don't be shocked because I think Hungary are still a team to be feared in this group. I think we have to just wait and see what Hungary can do against Scotland. I think if they can really put on a dominant performance, that third position is theirs. Whether they go through as the fourth, one of the four best third placed finishing teams is another question. But third place is definitely going to be theirs, I feel.
Hey, what do you
Should
think?
be. I think it should be theirs, all things being equal. The Scotland I saw shouldn't have even come to the party.
Hmm.
The kind of tackles that were flying in. I've even forgotten the
That
guy's
that
name.
tackle is
But what
that
he
shouldn't
did,
exist in today's
that
era.
just shows that
That's
this
a
ain't
proper
his
SBL
level.
tackle, that was.
It
He
ain't
plays
his
for Watford.
level.
I
It's
think he plays
Yeah,
for
it
horrible.
Watford.
ain't his
Yeah,
It's a
level,
horrible
bro.
tackle.
mm.
It's not your level. You don't know about this. You shouldn't have been picked. That
It
you
shouldn't have
should
even gone to VAR. It
yeah,
should have gone straight. It was,
all this stuff here.
You
You should
shouldn't
look
have
at it
been
and be
allowed to
like,
touch Gundogan or
bro,
whoever
yeah,
he
come on,
tackled.
man.
That was not
It's
deserved that.
too much, man. Just for
leave him
that,
be.
you
They
just
had
go
to leave him
home.
be, which is the case.
Just go home. And there was a lot of hype about him going through the like, oh yeah, he plays for Watford, he's this. I'm like, who is this guy? Who are these
They
players?
just saw a really
Like,
pretty name from Scotland that wasn't McGregor or Robertson, and they're
yeah.
like, "Oh yeah,
They're
this
like,
guy
yeah,
sounds mysterious. There's no muck in his name. Oh, he's gonna bring
get him
something to the
in there.
party. Didn't bring
Yeah,
anything
it's
to the
gonna
party."
be it's gonna be
Yeah.
a long tournament. I said long. It's gonna be a short tournament for Scotland,
I do
man. I
feel sorry for
feel
Scotland though. Like
why
I feel like the media overhyped what the actual Scottish
team
team
is
was
like.
about.
Yeah,
Like
To be
I
fair, you
understand
can
they haven't been
understand
in the
why. You can understand why because they did really well in the group stages. They beat Spain. They did really well in that group to actually qualify. And because they're the only other home nation to do it, that's why the media do it. Because every other home nation, they always complain, oh, the British media hype up England, but they never hype up the other country. So back in 2016, when they weren't hyping up Wales, Wales made their own storyline by getting to the semi-final of the Euros, and England crashed out to Iceland as well. So I kind of get it from that perspective, but I think it's been proved straight away that actually
it's
Scotland
been
have
Yeah.
humbled
proven.
When you
themselves. So
look at it in hindsight now, it's just
They're
a
not
bit
good
like
enough.
why did we sort of do this? We understand like 26-year absence in a major tournament
Yo,
is
26.
yeah, that's
Yo,
crazy. That is crazy.
and
So
then two
yo,
Euros in a row get knocked out in 2020, but they had the nil-nil ringing in their ears all the time. They're like, "Oh yeah, we drew to England at Wembley." I'm like,
yeah,
nil
"That's not
yeah,
a
nil,
trophy. Like, it's not a trophy." But they did
nil
very well
nil,
against us. But they couldn't do it
nil
against
nil.
Germany. They did
yeah.
improve,
Couldn't.
and it's
And
looking very desperate for
TJ,
them.
shout out to TJ quickly as well, because he was saying, Scotland at Hampton Park, it is like playing in a very heated environment. It's like when Scotland are at home, they look like Barcelona sometimes, with like
Mm.
that sort of
That
impact that
environment.
the home nation has on them. But take
Facts.
about a Scotland, they look like a League One side, and that it's just been
Facts.
proven yesterday.
Yeah, had a couple
Definitely.
people hyping up McTominay in the DMs yesterday, calling him McMonster and that, and I'm like,
What
oh,
did
is
he?
it?
Who gave him the respect? Who gave him the
Who was
audacity to
saying
hand
McMonster? I
over
want to
that free
know.
kick?
I'm like
By the way.
McMonster. I'm like, yo, Mc who?
McMonster, that was a fun
Who's
name for
that?
McTerminator. You can make up so many memes with McTominay as well, which is the
Oh
thing.
my
Mate,
days. He
that's
didn't
the
look
thing
like
with
he played for
McTominay. I
United.
love the fact that he scores so many goals for Scotland, but when he's playing in the international tournament, he's playing as a CDM, and you're like, come
Nowhere
on,
to
bro.
be fair.
I don't
Needed to
get
be
who
done.
gave him the audacity to like line up for that free kick as well. Like, since when was McTominay
Bro,
He
his
never.
set piece?
audacity
I
was
was saying
he
that as
plays for
well. I was
Manchester
looking at him
United.
thinking the way he scores a goal is when someone crosses the ball into him to flick
Nah.
it in or just
Yeah,
have
who
an
gave him the
instinct to
He
flick it.
audacity
told
to
them
go
all.
for
He
that?
told them all to step back. He said, "I won a trophy this season, so I get to do what I want to do." You know what I'm
I
saying?
threw the
He was
ball
like,
on the
"I
pitch
won
at
the
Wembley
trophy."
Stadium. I know what I'm doing here.
Exactly. I know what I'm doing, man. I'm a world beater right now. Let me do
Muck
my thing.
aura.
Man.
He had that muck aura about him. That's what he did.
It's horror. It's horror.
4-0 down
uh,
at the Munich Stadium as well, the Allianz Arena, and he's like, nah, I'm gonna take this free kick. It's gonna go
Yeah,
in.
I don't get that.
I'm
it's
Tony
gonna
Cruz
go
right now.
somewhere.
All right, then, just to end the stream, I want
Man,
to say thank you both very much for your conversation, and I'm going to end it with one word answer only. Who's winning tomorrow, England or Serbia?
Serbia.
I knew you were doing that. I knew that was what you were gonna say as well.
Right.
I needed you to be consistent there, Ayo, and you were. I appreciate it.
England.
England. Okay.
Uh,
Nah, that's good. That's good. I'm looking forward. I'm more looking forward to the Denmark game tomorrow against Slovenia. That'll be more fun for me to watch than England versus
mm.
Serbia as well,
What's
which
the
is
other
great.
game on as well? There's one more, isn't there?
There's Poland versus Netherlands.
Ooh,
Oh, boring.
crikey.
Poland, can I just say Poland are probably the most boring team in any tournament ever. They don't do anything.
Poland are like the Wolverhampton Wanderers of the Premier League. You just don't care
Oh,
about them.
it's disgusting. It's
They're
honestly
both annoying,
disgusting.
isn't
I
it?
They're
don't,
just
yeah,
irrelevant for me.
yeah.
And then you'll have Lewandowski scoring a couple goals. Yeah, great, it's Lewandowski, but then who are the other guys?
He
Matty
won't
Cash.
score. The first time he scored in the tournament was last World Cup. That's the first time he scored in a major tournament.
He
Like,
scored
Was
in
that
the
not a
Euro.
pen as
It was the
well?
first time he scored since Euro 2012. So
oh,
he
there you
literally
go.
waited
Yeah,
10 years
like
Damn.
basically.
it's just I don't know. Like, yeah, Poland as a nation qualify for these. It shouldn't be allowed. Like
Mm.
they don't do anything anyway when they get here. So
Making up the numbers, as it
yeah,
were.
exactly. Just give it to someone else that would be a bit more interested. Like a Greece or something. At least we could have seen something a bit different.
Yeah, it should give like
Sweden,
a
bring the
wild
yellow.
card.
Bring the
Yeah,
yellow with
that's
Sweden. That's
Past
always a fun one
winners.
to see.
yeah, Sweden, Norway, or something like that. I would have loved to see,
Norway,
Haaland
Norway
rather
aren't
than
good
going to
enough.
Spain,
Norway
Yeah,
aren't
good
good enough.
going to
enough.
I mean,
nightclubs in Spain. He should have
Norway,
been there.
they have an Arsenal captain that's playing there as well, and he couldn't really do it, but he can do it in a
He,
friendly.
he can
He
only
can do
do
it in a
what he can
friendly
do.
for Norway. He can do it when the
He can
pressure's off
only
as
do what
well.
he
So it's
can
great to
do,
see.
man. He puts it on the plate for Haaland, and Haaland can't. Haaland needs to carry on the back. That's one of the best players in the Premier League right now. Put the team on your back,
Odegaard was
get it
considered one of the
done.
best in the Prem as well, and he couldn't do it for his nation.
Yeah,
But Scott McTominay could. That's all I'm saying. One of the top
Scotty.
one of the
Hotty
top
too hotty.
scorers in the qualifying as well. Scott McTominay with 7 goals.
Scotty.
Great to see. Even with international football happening, there's still club agendas happening, which is great to see as well. But what has been fantastic is our conversation with the boys from Click 45. So Oz and Ayo, I want to say thank you very much for your time. Hopefully we'll get to have a
Thank you.
conversation later down the line as well, which would be great when my voice is back and when I'm back feeling fully fit as well. But any closing messages for our audience before we wrap up for tonight?
Just go subscribe to the Click 45 channel if you haven't
Yeah,
checked us out
subscribe.
before.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, we got loads of special guests coming up during this Euros.
Where's your
Uh,
studio?
where's our studio?
Mm.
Somewhere special, somewhere special.
Yeah,
Don't
Is
we
it
worry
can't.
about
someone's
that.
garden? Is
The
it a
Don't
shed?
Den,
worry about
the
all that.
Den.
Don't worry about all that.
That's fine. I'm
We
just
call it
saying,
the Den.
if I ever need to come down, I'll be ready. I'll be ready.
Yeah,
I'll
That's
wait to
cool.
pull up.
put your banter cap on. Yeah, put your banter cap on.
I'll bring my
Especially if
McTominay shirt. I'll bring my
especially if
McTominay.
Yeah,
Io is there. Yeah.
lovely, lovely,
It needs to be
lovely.
done. It needs to be done. But no, it's great to have you guys on. Thank you very much for your time. And thank you very much for everyone watching today. And we'll see you next time for another live reaction.